Okay, Canada International. I had a chance to chat with them in Montreal. We talked about it the last couple of years, and I saw it in your eyes. As much as you loved the TV stuff, you missed the ice. Did you?
For sure. I think a lot of it was kind of that competitive drive and just being in the competition. Like, we had a lot of fun watching, but it's not the same. Like, it gave us a really powerful perspective as well to come back, and yeah, we missed it. Simple as that. I mean, everyone keeps thinking we have this big, complicated scheme, but we just want to skate again as long as we can.
What was it like to finally get back on the ice that first time that you came back in your comeback? And I know you had been skating as well, doing shows, etc. But
coming back, in many ways, you know, it felt like we kind of picked up where we left off. Like, that was definitely one of our strong points. We always knew how to handle that part of our partnership, but it is different, way different than preparing for shows, and something that we've had to work on. I mean, that's a key to any ice dance team success. You don't realize how much time people have to spend together, and in order to be successful, how much you really have to be on the same page. So it's actually gone pretty well so far, but we're still in the honeymoon phase here. We're 4 months in.
In that time when we were preparing for shows and we were training and really trying to keep our physical level high, we were coaching ourselves. We were on the ice alone with no other skaters, no coach. So it was a totally different dynamic.
And you guys are such crowd pleasers, but show skating is not Olympic or World Championship skating.
I think we really enjoyed, well, first of all, after the Sochi Olympics, we were ready for the show world, you know, but I think the reason why we came back to competitive skating, it wasn't because we didn't want to keep doing show skating. It's just because this opportunity won't always be there. You know, we only have.
And you're young enough. You're still young enough, right?
Yeah. Well, we hope so. Only time will tell. Stay tuned.
I think they're actually coming back again.
Yeah, we probably could.
Let's turn the clock back. Let's go back 10 years. If I would have sat with the two of you and said, Gino, I think that you guys are going to skate and be coached by Marie-France Debray and Patrice Lauzon, you would have said what?
I will tell you that Marie and Patch always looked out for us and always loved us, and we could never figure out why, to be honest.
Even though you were the ones that were
we're
pushing
kind of
them,
coming
right?
up, but we were young. I was definitely arrogant. I won't say we were arrogant, but I thought I was pretty cool for a 16-year-old.
That's swagger. That's swagger.
I haven't lost quite enough swagger still, but we just have always kind of been drawn to them because they've taken such great care of us, and it's so funny that, like, I don't know what fate or whatever, but it just feels so right, and in so many ways we feel so lucky to have this opportunity in Montreal and to finally come to them, and it just feels like the perfect match.
So tell me about the day you had to tell Marina Zueva that you're not skating with her anymore. Is that like? I mean, I know it's an evolution. You've changed coaches. Go to somebody else. Was it difficult?
It was a natural evolution because after the Sochi Olympics, we were home. Well, not very much, but our home base was in London, and we were training ourselves, working with different choreographers, and then preparing for shows. So it's been 2 years that we really haven't had a coach.
I mean, we have to really give Patch and Mary credit because they're really taking off kind of, you know, what we've built with Marine and Igor and Johnny Johns down in Detroit. I mean, a lot of people think that because we moved, I mean, it was because we weren't successful in 2014, but 2014 to us was a success. We were very happy with that, and we had 10 great years in Detroit under Marina and Igor, so we owe a lot of our success to them. It just was time for us, and it was time for something fresh and a different change, and that's where Mary and Patch came in, and they're so good at recognizing that and using our strengths, but then bringing some of kind of their style to the table.
I've always wanted to ask you, actually, then we're talking about it. When you skated every day, you skated with the best in the world, including yourselves. It was like a competition every single day. Was it hard?
It was difficult, I would say, in the end, and you know, I'm sure that Marilyn and Charlie felt that as well, but it was kind of a neat moment after the 2014 games. We did a tour together and kind of were able to see that it's just the situation you're in. There's a lot of tension, everyone's feeling pressure, and everybody wants to do their best. So, I mean, Marilyn, Charlie, and Tessa and I, we have a pretty good relationship, and it was kind of funny to talk with them after we said we were coming back. I was trying to get Charlie to come back too, but...
Yeah, we're working on them.
I feel like in that situation, there's a lot that if I could go back and be a different me, there was definitely things that I would change, and that's hopefully what we're going to bring to this new school, because, I mean, we're right back in it again. We're training with the world champion, two-time world champions, who really inspire us. I mean, these young skaters are doing things that we've never seen before. We're big fans, but we want to encourage that. I mean, we want to encourage everybody to be the best that they can, and we're going to all raise our level together. And, you know, that goes for, we had great moments at high performance camp with Caitlin and Andrew as well. So I think hopefully we're bringing a different mentality to that, and it's going to not bring us down so much. Because I think in 2014, I would say we let it get the better of us.
So, do you have any fears right now? Fears coming back? Fears of failure? Fears of, you know, you're legends. You know, and you're not getting.
We both nodded to that. I'm not sure we meant it. We were just...
I am a legend.
We did.
You know what I mean.
So I meant my nod.
You know what you mean.
Take yours back,
but you leave your sport, you know, and you've done so much, and you come back, and by the way, a lot of comebacks, if you want to use that word, don't always pan out. What's going to make this one different for you?
Well, to be honest, that's a huge point of conversation with our sports psychologist on the daily. You know, I think there, of course, is fear, and that's, in some sick way, probably part of what we were craving, that challenge, you know, the nerves, the anxiety, the doubt. But to get past that, I think my only fear would be that we lose sight of why we started this in the first place. You know, I remember watching so much video of our skating and talking to Marie-France and Patrice about the changes and improvements we wanted to make. And when we stepped on the ice with them and started working on our basic fundamental skating skills, we really broke everything down and started making changes. And we looked at each other and said, okay, if we're going to compete again, we have to skate differently. We have to move differently. We have to expect different things.
You're two of the nicest athletes I've ever met, I'll say that, and Scotty knows that. But you're also fierce. I've watched you through the years. You hate to lose. What's the landscape like now? You're back in it to win it. I know you. You're back in it to win it. Don't try to con me.
You know what?
I know you like to dance, but you like to win.
Yeah. To be honest, it's just nice to hear somebody say that, because it's funny how people don't understand that if we're coming back to enjoy ourselves and if we're coming back for the sport and for our love of the sport, they think that that's separate from winning. And that's, in my mind, that's not really it. Like, we have the most fun when we're winning. So I just don't think it can be our focus right now. We're coming back to it. And the 2018 Olympics are circled on our calendars. And that's, I mean, we came back 2 years before that for a reason. We want to stand on top of the podium at the Olympic Games again.
What is Virtue and Moir 2K16 going to look like compared to all of the other vehicles that you've had?
We want to try and push ourselves to be different, but a little bit of it is knowing that's, like, we're Tessa and Scott still. I think a lot of our product is going to look somewhat the same, but we want to push ourselves outside that comfort level. So hopefully, you know, people can see that we're trying to move in a different direction, and that's in right from our technique to our approach to our programs to the choreography. So we're going to have to be better than we've ever been.
The message from me listening to you is that we're back. We're hungry still. Hungrier.
For this.
And we want to win a gold medal again.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, that's why we came back.
Now, I speak for everybody at TSN. We are going to miss you guys, but we're not going to really miss you because we're going to see you.
Yeah, we'll be there.
But I speak for everybody in the skating world. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
You don't mind if we do our warm-up in the truck with you, do you?
No. Dig in. Not too much, though.
Yeah, they weren't on a lot of that cake the last few weeks as they get ready to get back to skating. Tessa, Virtue, Scott Moir will skate in the second grouping, second overall. Normally, you would see some of the world-ranked skaters